Liverpool can nick it at Arsenal, while don't be surprised if Everton shock Chelsea at Goodison. It's match week 19 and the start of a mad fortnight of football festivities. Yes, there'll be more football than you can shake a pig in a blanket at over Christmas and New Year, and much can and will change over the holidays. Well, I say things will change, but Newcastle still won't win and Jose Mourinho still won't be gracious in defeat. Season's greeting to you all, and have a wonderful, football-filled Christmas. Arsenal v Liverpool. This should be a barnstorming start to the weekend's festivities, as Arsenal, with their exemplary home record, host Liverpool, a team that can demolish anyone when they're on form. Under Jurgen Klopp, the Reds have scored at least 3 goals in each of their 4 Premier League games against the Gunners, scoring an impressive 14 in total with 3 wins and 1 draw. Keep a lookout for the Cat in the Hat today, as Petr Cech is just 1 clean sheet away from becoming the first keeper in Premier League history to amass 200 shutouts. Arsenal boss Arsene Wenger, meanwhile, will have Shkodran Mustafi back in contention and will be hoping that Francis Coquelin can return from injury, while Arsenal fans won't. Everton v Chelsea. Chelsea might just be ticking along at the moment, but Everton have moved up several gears since the arrival of Sam Allardyce, and we fancy them to take the spoils here. The ex-England boss has won his last 2 Premier League against Chelsea, and if Everton win here, he'll become the first coach in the competition's history to win against them with 5 different clubs. He's also getting a decent tune out of Wayne Rooney. The occasional garden centre worker has scored 10 goals in 16 PL appearances this season, and that's the fewest amount of matches it's taken him to reach 10 goals in a season since the giddy days of 2011 Welfs. That said, Chelsea have won their last 3 league games against the Toffees, and by an aggregate score of 10-0-2, so maybe it won't be such a cakewalk after all. Brighton v Watford. This is a huge game for Brighton. Win here and they'll reach 21 points at the halfway stage of the season and keep them firmly on track for survival. The trouble with the Seagulls is twofold. Firstly, they're drawing too many games, 5 of their last 8, and, secondly, they just aren't scoring any goals, no goals from open play in their last 6 matches. They've also got a stinker of a record against Watford, having won just 1 of their last 11 against the Hornets, D5, L5. But may benefit from the fact that the visitors will be without both top scorer Abdoulaye Doucouré and all-round threat Troy Deeney. It'll also be a chance for Anthony Knockaert to get his own back on Miguel Britos after that horror challenge back at Vicarage Road back in August. And watch your back, Miguel. Manchester City v Bournemouth. Short of breaking up their goal or tampering with the brakes on the City team bus, it's difficult to see how Bournemouth are going to stop Pep Guardiola's rampant side here. All the evidence points to a City victory, not least because they've won 9 and lost precisely none of their 11 previous league matches against Bournemouth, winning all 5 in the Premier League. They could also be the first team ever to score 100 Premier League goals in a calendar year if they score 3 here. Which they will, obviously. Southampton v Huddersfield. You're not quite sure how it's going to go with Southampton this season. Though they're in 12th place, they are just 3 points off the relegation zone and they're notoriously inconsistent. Mind you, they do seem to do well against newly promoted sides, losing just one of their 26 home encounters against them. Saints have also triumphed in their last 3 home games against Huddersfield, bagging a healthy 13 goals in the process and conceding just the 1. 2 wins from their last 3 league games have seen Huddersfield pull themselves up the table, and their 4-1 win at Watford last week ended a dismal run of 7 away games without a goal. D1. L6. Stoke v West Brom. Hands up, who can think of a more unappealing fixture? Anyone? No, me neither. But it is what it is, and that's a relegation dogfight. If the Baggies can claim their first win under Alan Pardew's reign, they'll leapfrog their hosts here and, you'd think, really ramp up the pressure on Potter's boss Mark Hughes. Every chance they could do it too, as Pars had won 8 league games against Stoke as a manager, and that's more than he's managed in against any other club. The Baggies are also unbeaten in 6 league matches against Stoke, W2, D4, while the home side have just 1 win from their last 8 league games, D2, L5. We suspect that's not going to change here either. Swansea v Crystal Palace's Leon Britton takes the reins at the Liberty. Can we expect to see an uplift in the fortunes of the Premier League's bottom-placed team? It's going to be a big ask. Palace are now unbeaten in 7 games, W3, D4, and arrive in the Valleys on the back of a brilliant 3-0 away win at Leicester last week. Indeed, only Manchester City, 26 games, and Liverpool, 9, have longer unbeaten runs in the division. There were 12 goals in the 2 matches these sides played last season, as well, the most of any 2016-17 Premier League fixture, so it's looking good for the neutral. In theory, it'll be 0-0 now. You watch. West Ham v Newcastle. What on God's good earth has happened to Newcastle United? It's over 2 months since Newcastle last won a league game, and they come into this game on a run that's seen them lost 8 of their last 9 games. Not surprisingly, they're also in the relegation zone now too. The last thing they need is a visit to London, where they've lost a record 71 Premier League games, and a game against a West Ham side that have turned the corner and are looking for their 4th clean sheet on the spin. Rafa the Gaffer Benitez may have won 10 of his 13 Premier League matches against the Hammers, but you can't see that happening here. January can't come soon enough for the miserable Magpies. Burnley v Spurs. Having seen Burnley at the Amex last week, I'm afraid I don't buy this "aren't they amazing" narrative that seems to be spreading like Nutella at the moment. Yes, they've done brilliantly to get to where they were, but they're hardly the most thrilling team to watch in the division, are they? I mean, 16 goals in 18 games? Fight for a ticket. The Clarets have only won 1 of their 7 Premier League games against Spurs, D2, L4, and that was back in May 2010 when they won 4-2. Spurs, meanwhile, can win back-to-back league games at Turf Moor for the first time in 92 years. Leicester v Manchester United. Fresh from a humiliating defeat, and a predictably tiresome and ungracious response from Jose Mourinho, United will look to build on a record against the Foxes that's seen them win 13 of the last 17 league meetings. In fact, United have only lost one of their last 12 league trips to Leicester, and that was that memorable 5-3 thumping back in September 2014. You know, when Angel Di Maria used to play for them, Jamie Vardy scored that day. That was his first in the Premier League, and he's now just one goal away from reaching 50 in the competition.